Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. We are happy to be joined on the phone now from ESPN, one of the best announcers in the country, Dan Dakich. Dan, how are you, sir?
Kidding me? I'm great. Great time of year, Matt.
Well, I want to ask you about the game. You saw Kentucky beat Wichita State. At the beginning of the year, you were like me. You thought this team looked unbeatable. They've had some problems. Where do you see the Cats are right now going into UCLA?
Well, I think they're really good, and I thought they were really good all year. The one thing I'll say, and you guys know better than I, they look joyless in their win. Like, it looked like a burden almost to them. Now, they're going to play UCLA. LeVar Ball's making comments. UCLA's already beat them. So I got to assume that this is going to be as active and hyped as we've seen UK, and a hyped UK team is going to be a problem for UCLA.
You know, what's interesting is you're right about that. They don't look like they've been as joyful. I wonder, though, if part of it is style of play. UCLA and Carolina, if they play them next, they get up and down the court. I get the feeling, Dan, this team would rather play like that than the way a lot of teams play them. Do you agree?
Yep, I totally agree. That's anywhere. You know, kids want to, particularly kids that are really talented like UK's kids, they want to get up and down. They don't want a slugfest. They don't want a rock fight. I totally agree with that. They're going to be ready. UCLA's going to be ready. I think it's the game of the weekend. You know, I've said that on ESPN. I think it's the game of the weekend. I think it's the most fun game of the weekend, the most stars, a lot of intrigue because one team's already beaten the other at Kentucky's home court. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be an unbelievable game.
A lot of people are going to focus on that point guard matchup. Lonzo Ball, people think maybe the first pick. I think De'Aaron Fox is the best pro prospect on Kentucky's team to me. How do you see that matchup, and do you think it'll determine who wins?
I think what's going to determine who wins, let me go for the second question first. Guys like Willis, guys like Briscoe, you got to have somebody other than three freshmen scoring. Willis has to make some shots. He doesn't have to score 20. But it wouldn't kill him to get 9 on 3 threes. It wouldn't kill Briscoe to go do what he does, get to the foul line. Because I tell you this, for UCLA, people talk about Ball, but Hamilton was their leading scorer for a while. Alford can shoot the basketball, but TJ Leaf is really good. Now, to your point about the point guards, I think it's the two most polished point guards that I've seen in a long time. I've been in love with Fox since I watched him get a triple-double back in the Bahamas. I think he's like Rondo. Will he have a better career? I don't know, but he just reminds me of him. He's quick, he finds, he can score when he needs to. And the other kid's really good. The other kid, Ball, he just makes basketball easy. It's going to be interesting to me who isn't cool, like who really comes out to whoop up on the other one from a defensive standpoint. Like, you can be too cool when it's a big matchup, or you can just be tough and figure out cool after. I'm anxious to see who's the tougher guy in this matchup because I think it'll go a long way towards deciding it.
TJ Leaf crushed Kentucky the last time. Do you think Kentucky's a better defensive team now than they were when you saw them in the Bahamas?
Yeah, the Bahamas was a little bit, you know, they just beat Bobby Hurley and Arizona State so bad that, you know, it's hard to see other than their quickness, other than their togetherness, and other than their obvious talent. I think Kentucky has become a better defensive team. I think, though, even good defenses have a problem with TJ Leaf because he's long, he shoots it, he runs. You know, he gets a lot of his stuff by beating his man down the court because he knows that Ball's going to give it up. They've got pretty good symmetry together. So you have to run with Leaf. You know, so often we talk about playing a guy in half court, taking away the post, taking away the drive, whatever. TJ Leaf, you take away a lot of his offense if you can find somebody that's going to run with him because he runs hard every possession. That's going to be interesting to me, and I'll guarantee you Cal is talking about that. Transition defense, particularly finding Leaf.
30 seconds left. I got to ask you, as an Indiana guy, where do you think the head coaching search is going? And if you had to predict, who do you think ends up in that job?
Oh, man, if I got to predict, I'm going to say Alford. I hope so. I don't know, and I don't really care how people feel about Steve. Matt, you know, it's been 17 years since anybody with Indiana ties. I love the fact that, you know, people say this guy or that guy, but we've had this guy or that guy. In my opinion, it's time to bring an Indiana guy, recruit Indiana, recruit the Midwest. We haven't had it even before 2000 when Coach Knight was fired. He didn't do a very good job with it. I say bring Alford back. My prediction will be Alford, but that's just a guess.
All right, well, Dan Dakich, ESPN, nobody better at breaking down basketball. Thank you very much for coming on.
Of course, anytime.
We'll take a break and be right back. This is Hey Kentucky.